Welcome back to another episode of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's going on, dude?
On the sticks, we got TJ.
Hello.
All right, no interview today, but we're going to be chatting about runes, BRC 20s,
Potentially.
stacks,
We could do that.
natcats,
Emscribe.
DMT, Emscribe.
Basically whatever we want, dude.
Yeah.
It's a free day. Like, we're not interviewing anybody, so we're not having to pigeonhole ourselves into a singular direction.
Yeah.
But these days, I mean, a lot is happening, so. But the conversation is runes, obviously.
Yeah.
Happening. I mean, it was like a few days. Actually, it was like a week ago almost. Last Friday, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, quite honest, very underwhelming.
I don't know.
What was
It was action packed for like 4 hours, 6 hours, and then that's about it.
Where was the action?
On Mempool.
Dude, there was no action. Oh, you mean like after? Yeah, well, that was more like runes. I'm talking just specifically
the happening
the
itself.
spectacle of like witnessing a happening event.
Yeah.
I guess nobody really said it was going to be anything spectacular.
No, there's definitely not a show for happening, but
yeah, we were all just staring at Mempool, but we had this grand vision of like how we can like make this better in the metaverse.
yeah.
But unfortunately, we're not able to execute on that vision, so we got 4 years to work on that until the next one.
In 4 years, it should be spectacular.
Yeah, that's kind of the point of the metaverse, right? It's like now we have like a canvas where we can create experiences that we could not before, right? The 2D interface is just some of the lamest of experiences, to be quite honest. Like witnessing SpaceX launch on Twitch or YouTube, live streaming platforms. I mean, it's cool. You get to witness them all collectively in a semi-multiplayer environment, but not really. You just see people in a chat room.
Yeah, that's right.
But the metaverse expands that experience, that scope of experience quite radically. It's just not obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because developers need to build these types of things, right?
Every time you say
easy.
developers, I keep thinking of the guy who's like, developers.
I know.
I keep forgetting his name.
You talking about
Steve?
Microsoft guy?
Yeah.
Steve
Balmer.
Yeah, dude. Well, because he was wrong. He was right, dude.
Oh, he was way right. Yeah.
That's where all this sweat came from, you know? He was a sweaty man because he was always like in perpetual angst. He's like, dude, fucking developers, dude. Like that's core to everything.
Yeah. That's
And
core to the metaverse, core to blockchain, everything.
All these fucking degens who are just perpetually crying 24/7 on crypto Twitter. Really, all they're saying is like, developers, do something.
Pretty much.
You know, developers, make me rich. I sit on my thumbs and like do a goddamn to contribute. Literally.
Yeah.
That is like the prevailing reality.
Yeah.
In crypto.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's not that many developers, like specifically in our ordinal space, right? I've been hearing that a lot. Yeah, there's really maybe like a handful of like really good ones.
Yeah, literally a handful.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it? Isn't Bitcoin supposed to be like this big thing? That's what you told me.
It is a big thing, but
why wouldn't
not for developers? It's not.
Right. Well, isn't that the thesis though? It's like, you know, we've ruffled the hornet's nest.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a developer and you're looking for a place with abundance of liquidity,
right,
you're gonna go to Bitcoin.
That was the like original thesis, right? It's like ordinal's kind of like, again, it shook up the nest, the hornet's nest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To the point where like some dev came in, built something for Bitcoin, where, you know, an open source protocol or tool framework, whatever.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, billions of dollars of liquidity was like manifested. Right? Yeah. So it's like that should have been like a rallying call for more developers. It's like, dude, Bitcoin is like, there's $1 trillion just sitting there. I could do that too.
Yeah, because where are they at? I feel like the developers who are already in crypto, they have like technical debt, meaning they are already entrenched in their existing infrastructure.
Yeah,
and it's really hard to kind of navigate that inertia to Bitcoin and then learn like this whole new thing. Because I think most developers haven't dealt with UTXO blockchains.
Yeah, correct. And there's no like actual developer framework, right? That's
correct.
The biggest absence.
Yeah.
So it's like as a developer, you're tasked to just come up with your own like framework.
Yeah,
that's what Benny's doing, right?
We weren't there in 2015 when Ethereum started and where it was like the Wild West. So we don't know what it was like when there wasn't a framework other than like Solidity, right?
Yeah, I imagine it was nothing like what we're seeing with ordinals in a sense. Like
it's like worse or better.
Well, I think like the ethos of that community, that like
Oh
early,
yeah.
it was probably mostly
Oh
developers.
yeah. 100%.
Right? Because mostly developers in those early days would have seen the value of like smart contract native language. Basically, yeah, the establishment of a framework for developers. That is what Ethereum kind of like did.
Yeah.
It introduced programmability vectors for creation.
Yeah.
On
When
top of,
your tagline is the world computer,
yeah,
you're appealing to the
you're
developers.
gonna pull in some nerds,
Some nerds.
But our taglines over here on Ordinals is like, dog to moon,
Yeah.
Casey, fuck dogs, literally, and put on like costumes and shit like that. Like, I don't think we're doing a good job at attracting the right demographic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that might be one of our critical flaws as of right now.
Yeah, we might be making the fatal mistake
Of
attracting like the wrong kind of audience.
Yeah, it's purely like degen centric. Like the ones with the biggest megaphones,
Yeah.
the ones actually contributing the most.
Yeah, and they are a component, right? Degens are a component to making a successful like platform,
Absolutely.
right? But
Yeah.
they're not the only component.
No, it's the that's like the last component. Like they come. You almost don't need to target them. Like you really do need to target developers. That's why we were kind of like when Leonidas was out there saying things like, we don't need utility.
Wrong.
Fuck off with all this like developer shit.
Wrong.
I remember you going into his Twitter spaces.
Yeah. Yeah.
To explain DMT and everything that's happening in our ecosystem, and it went right over his head to the point where he played a fucking clown sound.
Yeah, it was
like
like a whistle.
There's a loopy crazy guy here, right? I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
hearing that. Like you're technically explaining like how Nat Cats was able to do what they do.
Correct.
And it was just incomprehensible, and something so outside the realm of what it is he's trying to achieve was just like pure degen sentiment, marketing only, no technicality.
Yeah.
Right? To the point where mock that shit. Mock that attempt of actually doing something of technical innovation.
Yeah.
Like throw it out the room.
Yeah, it just seems weird coming from like Leonidas because, Pizza Ninjas, it's an app as an ordinal.
I was actually thoroughly impressed with whenever Pizza
Yeah.
Ninjas first actually hit the market. Like it was like a multi-month marketing lead up to that. I was like, oh, another picture project, cool.
Yeah.
This one does a little jiggle.
Right.
But when you actually looked at it,
You can interact with it. It has like you can play NES games now.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, of course.
That is like an actual like pushing the boundaries a little bit further as far as like implementing technicalities to a typical PFP collection, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's like these are things that degens don't want to hear about, right? I don't want to know how you're gonna.
But that's incorrect. I feel like degens actually do want stuff to speculate on. You cannot just speculate on a ticker. It doesn't have any vectors of speculation.
Well, it does.
I mean, it has one vector, right? We need multiple vectors. That's why I feel like something like Chainlink got a lot of traction from the degens. Because it had multiple vectors. It could be applied here and this industry and that industry. And
I kind of disagree though. I don't, because I was there watching.
Yeah, okay, Link Marines and 4chan and all that, but still it was based on like
no, of course,
like fundamental stuff.
Yeah, there was a core group early on, I'm sure, in Chainlink's rise on 4chan. Like they're out there trying to convince other not smooth brains like why this is like a necessary component to Web3 like infrastructure.
Yeah.
I remember seeing those bull posts and it's like, you know what? This makes a lot of sense. Like Chainlink does sound very important.
Yeah.
But that narrative didn't really take off until like the community formed an identity around that. The Link
think about it.
The stinky Linkies.
Okay. But it was based on like an actual fundamental, like useful token.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was able to do what it did.
Well, I agree. I have nothing against meme culture. It's okay to leverage the stupidity of memes, right? It's funny. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's relatable. It is the vector of like gravity to attract like as the mass majority of a demographic as possible, right?
Yeah.
If you're funny, people like you. People want to be part of that.
Yeah.
But at the end of it can't just be that. Like
right.
if you're doing that, you better you have some sort of noble initiative on the back end. Like you're trying to do something. And that's Web3's critical flaw across the board.
Yeah.
When it comes to minting vapor tokens for DeFi projects and shit like that, you don't have any intention to like actually build anything of usefulness. You just want to like convince people to lock up liquidity to generate this yield of this synthetic nothing burger.
Another synthetic token.
Yeah. But if you did all these things, the galvanizing liquidity in communities and interest to produce real value.
Yeah.
All of a sudden Web3 has like a real tangible value proposition again.
Right.
That's how it all started. I remember those days.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're so far off from that. I can't even see that anymore.
Yeah, right.
It's like out of the radar of the scope of like what Web3 is trying to do.
Yeah. Did you know that we're more than just a YouTube channel? We also built Emscribe, the first inscription platform built from the ground up for the metaverse on Bitcoin. Connect your bitmap ordinals and use our tools to bring your community into the virtual realm. Support us by joining the movement at emscribe.io. Like, comment, and subscribe for the latest alpha. Back to the video. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's a little weird that we've gone to this point, but I mean, it's all ties back to like the psychological component of money and number go ups. Like, I really don't care about the tech. I only care if the number goes up.
Pretty much.
But,
yeah, I get that.
But the number can only go up if there's like fundamental value. And for some reason, that just got lost.
Yeah. I guess after too many attempts of that on Ethereum and not enough follow through and execution, therefore, like that spirit has died.
I feel like it. You know, the SEC also contributed to the sentiment of this too. It's like why do anything if the SEC is just gonna slam the hammer on you? And it's just if we do memes and people buy into it, you can't really slam me.
That might be actually very true, especially now. Like these what do they call them? The mixer platforms.
Yeah.
There was a wallet on Bitcoin that just got cracked down by the DOJ. I think it's called Samurai.
Samurai, yeah.
They're talking like major criminal offenses. They're hundreds of millions of dollars in money laundering and stuff like that. So it's like obviously that's not the intention of these developers when they put together these protocols, right? They truly believe privacy is like a critical component to civilization.
Yeah.
Right? And but the government seems to disagree because of what that could potentially facilitate, right?
Yeah. I mean,
double-edged sword.
Yeah.
We've talked about this.
Yeah, any new technology can be used for good or for bad.
Yeah, so you're right. It's like, you attempt to build real technology with real use and purpose, and then if it gets, I don't know, misused or whatever, then all of a sudden those attempts become very dangerous, like not worthy.
Yeah, it reminds me of Silk Road, Rob Albright. Yeah, he created a website and implemented purchasing with Bitcoin. All of a sudden, he's in jail for like 3 lifetimes.
That's insane. But I think there's some. I don't know if it's. I haven't really like deep dived into that lore.
Yeah,
but people say he orchestrated some murder attempts or something like that. I don't know.
It's hard to like verify all this because it happened so long ago. Like
it could easily be like a plant, like a narrative plant to make this guy seem like a bad guy.
A CIA agent on Twitter.
Pretty much. CIA, like in 4chan discussion groups. It's like, well, he actually is a murderer, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, don't get mad at the government.
Right.
We're locking up a bad guy.
Like this. Yeah. I mean, that's a weird thing about conspiracies is that sometimes they're true.
Actually, quite often.
Well, I wouldn't say often.
Okay. No. Let me step back a bit.
I would say maybe like less than 5%.
But that's still a pretty healthy number.
Yeah, that is a healthy
number. It's enough
to
to warrant like attention.
For sure, 100%.
Because these conspiracies are like they go deep, dude. Yeah. They're like ingrained in the fabric of what makes up like reality.
Yeah, but the bad thing about conspiracies, it hits like that psychological aspect of our brain. That's like, aliens must have come here, right? They had to have come here because it's just a better story. Then it's like, it's just physics, right? Or something like uninspiring.
Yeah. Well, aliens or lizard folk.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, like, I don't know, like old people smell a certain way. This is like they're all lizards, dude. Right? Isn't that obvious? Shit like this, and like a large segment of the population is just starting to buy into these theories,
Yeah, and then the component of like we have like this free communication where it's like any stupid idea has like legs now. Yeah. Because it's confirmation bias. It's like I believe in lizards. It's like, oh, this guy on the internet believes in lizards. Lizards must be real. Yeah. And then that's it. And then it's like all of a sudden there's millions of people who believe that.
I totally agree, dude. So the lizards of our time in this Bitcoin space, I mean, it's influencers, right? There's a cabal, there's a
Pretty
conspiracy of like, runes is just like this just shadow room
Yeah.
architected like thing, right? And we watched Casey's latest podcast, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily buy into that, because Casey was, I think, yeah, the forces that co-opted what Casey has been like working on have made it into some sort of like feels like a colluded effort. But I mean, most of crypto is. When
Yeah.
anything's popping off like NFTs, there was a colluded effort to make the narrative of non-fungible tokens successful, right? Because there are a lot of people
That's so
at stake
true.
in that.
So
Yeah,
true.
same thing with DeFi. Everything ends up colluded. There's a collusion force behind every successful thing
Yeah.
in Web3, right? So of course, people are going to rally around this thing called runes, collude, and find their positioning, their opportunistic, capitalistic advantages within this like new emerging narrative, and they're gonna switch from being like art boys to token boys all of a sudden,
all of a sudden,
like
yeah.
overnight.
Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course, that's gonna fucking happen, right? This is
Yeah.
what crypto is. But yeah, after watching Casey, I don't think he's like really part of that, because he was pretty transparent and open with the fact like this is actually just not meant to be anything. Like he went so far as to say like if anybody's pitching like utility or use of a rune, like assume it's a scam.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to assume everything is a scam. I think that's your basis as a crypto enjoyer. You start with that, and then you verify that it is not.
That's true. That's actually a very healthy approach.
Yeah,
because that then you have to put in like tremendous effort to.
Yeah, because think about it. Let's say you're a degen and you just assume everything is a scam, right?
Yeah.
Then that means as a degen you have to do some research.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Right, you have to. Otherwise, you're just buying into scams, and that doesn't feel good.
That is a safe approach, because your money is valuable, guys.
That's why there's scammers out there.
That's true. Yeah, when you're everyone's just blindly throwing money around into these crypto things. This is like a scammer's wet dream,
Yeah,
it's paradise.
Yeah,
scam city, and it's always been like this since like the ICO days,
Yeah.
And it probably will remain as such until like heavy regulatory impositions come about. But there's quite a fight against that. So scam away is basically like let's employ Darwinism at its finest within this like growing ecosystem.
Yeah.
Only the fit will survive,
Yeah, it's just so weird because I mean we've been around the block or two, and we've seen a scam or two every now and then, and every time we see it, it seems obvious. And the good scams are the ones that last for like 3 years until it gets slapped by the SEC for billions.
Yeah.
Right. And so I find it odd that people can't spot these things as
some things don't look so obvious, right? Like did Luna look like?
Did it look like it?
I feel like Luna. I remember we never made like a Terra Luna video, but we always wanted to because there's so much
traction. Yeah.
It was like, holy shit, somebody's like working on algo stable coins, right?
Yeah.
Like a competitor to DAI.
Yeah.
We believed that DAI was a good mechanism maker DAO.
Yeah. It's backed by
real money.
Yeah.
Hard assets.
By 150%.
Yeah, over collateralized.
Yeah.
But there's this other tranche of stablecoin experimenters who are saying you don't need any of that.
Yeah. But it had some legs because whenever you go get a loan in real life, you don't put up collateral, right? It's your reputation is collateral.
Of course. Yeah. That was where we were like kind of waiting to see DeFi kind of head towards. But there's so many different like components of that and like consensus arrivals to be able to like legitimately assume people's like on-chain identity is like worth any kind of merit at all.
It really isn't, because you just spin up a new address and then you start over again.
Yeah, it's a very tough problem to solve, but that's like a future reality where like our on-chain activities actually do fall. Yeah, it's going to take like a lifelong of tracking to understand.
Yeah, basically your BTC address or ETH address has to be as closely tied to your social security number,
pretty much,
to where you can't just like flip on another address.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. So things like this. So that was the interesting about DeFi, but there was a lot of interesting vectors to DeFi. But yeah, that's an example of something that seemed like a credible attempt at creating a new paradigm.
I think it was a good experiment.
Right, but now it's like the dude is gonna get locked up for life
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
Like
Do
a
Kwon.
lot of people lost a lot of money. You know, how do you avoid that?
Yeah. How is that a scam? Like, how was it a scam? I can't remember now. Like, how was it? It's just a bad algorithm that got exploited, really.
Yeah, but there's like apparently like I don't know, internal forces that I don't we'd have to like go back to those old videos where we talked about
Yeah.
it. When we reacted to that whole collapse, because that was literally the peak of the market.
That was, yeah.
That was like the catalyst for like, holy shit, we've been just fucking around this whole time, guys. It's like, you know, we fucked around too hard and we found out, you know?
Yeah. Then FTX and
Yeah.
3 Arrows and banks.
FTX, another one. Like a lot of people got fucking.
Yeah. Tom Brady, dude. TJ. What do you say to that?
Been bamboozled.
Yeah, Tom Brady's he's not a god, dude. He's a human like the rest of us. So
Yeah. Surprise.
It's blasphemy.
Yeah, so I mean just about everybody got.
Yeah. Steph Curry, too.
Fucking Steph Curry, dude. these athletes who are supposed to be the arbiters of like financial knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I'm so shocked that they didn't realize what they got themselves into.
Yeah.
But I'm talking more like paradigm, like these fucking ginormous VCs.
Yeah.
All got swindled.
Mr. Wonderful wasn't he a
That's
partner
right.
in there?
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are
And
guys.
he said he would invest again in SBF.
That's fucking insane. Now that's conviction.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like that's a pretty common strategy. Is like you want to invest in like entrepreneurs who have failed in the past because they likely won't make the same mistakes again.
Like that guy who did those shared office spaces or whatever. He's like,
Yeah, what's his name?
I don't know, but he's on the up and up again.
Yeah.
He's, you know, people are like throwing their money at him again. Yeah, we work.
I think that Fire Festival guy's working on something too.
Adam Newman.
Yeah. Yeah, like once Theranos Founders gets out of jail.
Oh, she's back at it again.
Dude,
she's on the horse again, dude.
She's she'll instantly be a billionaire all over again.
She's like, look at my new robots.
Yeah, so it's weird. I don't know. I don't know how to evaluate anymore. So in this space, it's even more dangerous than anything else.
Yeah, it's tough out there.
It's very tough out there. So we're in runes, like everybody else. We found like a singular project. I think other people are stumbling onto it. Just doing like surface level skimming of like due diligence. It seems intelligent.
Yeah.
Just by reading the docs. I'm not gonna even like name what we're talking about. Not yet. Not until we get like more research done.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like this is what we've been doing like since we started. It's like we're looking out there for something interesting to like strike us. And within the context of runes, it's not very hard to do.
No.
You know? Because it's like everything is just pure shit. Like
Yeah.
all this pre-rune stuff. It's cool if you're into like the IP and the brand and like the ethos and stuff, but still, they're delivering you more vapor nothingness. Like at the end of the day, whether it's like some mining mechanism, some whatever the fucking nism,
Yeah.
they're delivering you
Mechanism.
they're delivering you a nothing burger of a token. But the only thing that's going to keep these things engageable is like the collective delusion
traction,
around them.
the
Well,
use
just
of it.
the fucking shit on Twitter, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I wonder what it is. It's like people like the thought of Doge, where it's like so many people, quote unquote, became millionaires off of a token that doesn't really do anything, and like they're so attracted to that they're like, let's try to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And like GameStop, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that narrative is like the hardest to achieve because it takes such a global consciousness, such a direction. To pump a token, to pump a GameStop value and all this stuff, it takes a massive amount of energy to do that.
Yeah.
And I don't think you could just tweet with all caps all day to pump a token up.
I guess that's what we're gonna find out. Like Leonidas is literally on a mission to.
It's quite the experiment.
It is quite the social experiment because we've seen memes take off before, and that's like his main FUD counterpoint, right? Is like typically these memes happen organically.
Yeah.
They don't seem forced or architected in any way. It's just like some anon deploys like a stupid idea in crypto, and for whatever reason, people catch wind of it on 4chan or Reddit or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just propagates into a viral thing. Right?
Yeah, I think what attracts us the most is repeatable like value. Something that you can like fundamental analysis is repeatable, meaning if you find a problem and you come up with a solution, you tie a token to it. That's you do fundamental analysis, and then probably token goes up,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then so you find another problem, you do the same thing, and token goes up. Like I feel like that's a repeatable thing. A meme is not repeatable, and so it's more on the side of gambling, and it's just not interesting, and that's why we tend not to like focus on that because there's nothing to say.
Yeah. I guess that's our thing. It's just we've never ever made a video where it's like this is the meme that's gonna like
Yeah, this is the one.
this is the one. Never.
Yeah.
And we never will get sucked into that brain space. It's just that at that point, if crypto has gotten us to that level, like we've lost it.
Yeah.
I feel like for me personally, if my mental focus is on trying to decipher which of these tickers is like going to be whatever the metric of like virality is for memes.
Yeah.
If that's my livelihood, I've lost it.
Yeah.
I want to exit this entire industry.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I agree.
and I feel like most people we're gonna come to that reality, and hopefully, because if we don't, then this whole thing it's fucked. It's over.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
yeah, I agree.
We might be
Failed experiment on Bitcoin.
no, I didn't say all that. What the fuck? Damn, that's quite the jump. Because there's shit actually happening again that people aren't paying attention to. Real developers developing real technical solutions for new developers to take advantage of to create potential real value out of, the liquidity that exists on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
And just hopefully that propagates into an actual, chain reaction of a newfound effort and like ambition in this Web3 space. I don't know. That's equally as obscure as like whether or not a meme is going to become viral or not, right?
yeah.
It's equal as a gamble. Equal of a gamble.
I said repeatable because that's what it takes for like a science experiment to be successful. Is that other people have to be able to repeat it, and if you can't do that, then your parameters or there's something wrong with the experiment or your
People
thesis.
can repeat memes.
No, but a successful meme, you can't just like put it
Engineer
together,
that?
engineer that, and like make
Oh, I
it a
see.
meme successful. You can't do that.
Well, that's what we're witnessing here with Dog Go to Moon. It's an engineered attempt at creating like a viral meme sensation. Is that not what it is?
No, I know, but it's likely gonna fail.
Okay, so you're saying like you can't do that.
Well, what you can do is what I'm saying is like you can do is like find a problem, develop a solution to it, tie a token to it,
Yeah.
and then potentially this is going to be successful because you're solving a problem, right?
Yeah.
But a meme doesn't really do any of that.
Okay.
And so it's just straight gambling. And so this is what we were talking about earlier. If you look at the screen here, we're comparing runes, BRC20s, pipes, tap tokens. Here are all the functionalities that Tap has added to their ecosystem while everybody's like looking for vapor tokens,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
And so, and then it's like, well, so what's big deal? Like, who cares about this? Well, as a developer, if you're going to create something on Bitcoin, you need some sort of ability to create functionality.
Correct.
Right. And so you cannot do that with a lot of these runes, BRC20, pipe to some extent, and tap. You can do pretty much a lot of things, a lot more than what you can with these other tokens.
So this is exactly what you're talking. This is the comparable analysis, right? Of like a protocol with the intended design and targeted demographic towards non-developers, and one with the complete opposite of that, the targeted design for developers, right? This is what it looks like. And of course, that the result of that means like nobody on crypto Twitter is talking about the one focused towards developers. Yeah. They're all talking about the one focused towards memers and influencers and like bag pumpers.
Yeah, I understand the thesis too behind that, because it's like to onboard new people, they don't have to do much. Yeah. It's like, dude, new guy. It's like, look at this shit token. It's called Dog Go Up. Yeah. And all you got to do is buy it and hold it, and you will become rich. Yeah. And then that's it. You don't have to do anything else. It's like, okay, that's easy. I'll put in $1,000 and that's it. Yeah. But with any other like functional stuff, it's like, do you see value in like this functional token that is supposed to solve this one thing that other developers have problems with? Yeah. And so like it becomes a pain in the ass to onboard people into something like that in comparison.
Totally. 100%. And yeah, and then there's a lot more like waiting around as far as like, because development takes time and things break, and it's just there's so many more complexities involved, and like again, there's actual effort in like injecting yourself within an ecosystem space such as that, in comparison to all you have to do is like if people are loud enough on Twitter, then I'm doing all right. Like
Yeah, that's right.
that's the scope of mental exercising you have to do when you're injected in those two comparable environments, right?
Yeah.
It's like as long as enough people are on Twitter like saying the same thing that I'm invested in, like then I could chill.
Yeah, and this is not to say that projects focused on problems and solutions are always going to be successful.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is, on average, that if you have two types of people, one guy only invests in memes, another guy invests in solutions.
Yes.
The guy that invests in solutions, on average, is going to be more successful than the guy investing in memes.
Very, very well quantified, dude. I feel like that needs to be like a T-shirt, like a nice little formula, you know? Yeah, I totally agree.
But there is going to be that one guy that invests in the right meme that turns into like 100 millionaire.
Yes.
Right? There's going to be the one guy out of the millions of cadavers, right? Dead bodies out there.
Yeah.
The one guy, and then that's the guy who's going to become like the next god, right? And everybody's gonna follow him, and all of a sudden he's like leading a horde of people into like
drinking beer out of shoes.
Yeah,
basically things like this. And then like years later, people are wondering like, what happened to that? Like, how did that fall apart? I thought we were all on our way to Valhalla.
Yeah.
The fuck, the fuck. Like the world makes no sense. Like it's just. Again, it's just this mass delusion, and
and then over here you have like hundreds of thousands of people who made like hundreds of thousands of dollars, right?
Not sexy.
Yeah, no. No gods over here.
No. That's not shoey worthy.
No.
Nobody's
gonna drink a shoe for someone who made $100K off of a
there's no yacht party for
chain
that,
link,
dude.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So it's all about, I guess, it's whatever. This is what the market looks like. There's different facets of this market, and right now it's this ridiculousness. Isn't that like an MTV show, like Rob Dyrdek?
Oh yeah,
I think it's called Ridiculousness.
Yes.
Thank you, TJ. Great title. For
that's the one where they had a warehouse and
that's what it feels like. Crypto is like. Watch that show. It's like everything is just dumb people doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
Crypto is like ridiculous. They're in the ridiculousness era of crypto.
Yeah, but man, we've been here for 15 years though.
I know. But again, I think people are just exhausted and they just don't know. There's no clear direction anymore.
That's probably
There's
what it
no
is.
powerful leaders anymore in crypto.
Yeah, they're all looking for your god, like literally.
Yeah. We're in like a weird state. Back when we first started, we had some gods to look at, like Vitalik.
Yeah.
Dan
Larimer
to
some extent.
Now he's like lost it completely. But these different like developers, who like they came out with such a
they were rock
confidence.
stars.
Yeah,
they were the rock stars of this ecosystem.
Yeah, they came out with such confidence, like, dude, we're gonna fuck the world up.
Yeah,
seriously. I remember those conferences, those pitches and stuff. I was like, dude, yeah, you think Uber's cool? Wait till it's like a decentralized network.
That's right.
Yeah. Things like that. You think Twitter's cool? Wait till we create like a network where everything is truly decentralized.
Yeah.
Decentralize everything, bro.
Yeah,
it's like that was like, wow, so inspiring.
It was.
The mission is to like take down big tech, take down big government, all that shit, and it's gone. It's completely dissolved.
It is completely gone.
Yeah. Can it come back?
It sucks.
Can it come back?
Well, I mean, we've seen examples like the Mixer. What's the other one? Tornado Cash.
Yeah.
These were completely decentralized. They got slammed.
Got sniped.
Yeah.
Literally.
By the SEC and like
the DOJ.
Yeah. Slammed.
Crypto slammed.
I don't think you can just create like decentralized stuff and like completely avoid.
Oh fuck!
Like you just can't. I don't know. Why, but
so the narrative has quickly diverted away from like decentralize everything to just shitcoin casino is like the thing.
Yeah,
that's like culture, bro. Like that's what it is now.
Big hot potato game.
Hot potato. So yeah, I mean, it's becoming tougher and tougher to like stay completely like motivated with if those are the parameters of like what
Yeah.
people want. It's tough for people like us, I guess. If you're totally like one of those, then you're having a fucking blast, dude. Like you
Yeah.
love seeing this shit, but yeah, I don't know. It's not a good look in my opinion. It doesn't feel good, but I think we can clean this up. I'm not like completely like losing hope.
No, yeah, me neither.
Yeah, this can be cleaned up. Bitcoin still like the thesis is sound.
Yeah.
Taproot did introduce a new reality where we can actually implement some new functionality onto Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I think we got to rehash the whole idea of like, now that some developers are in Bitcoin, what does Bitcoin enable that other chains do not? And I think from like a crypto cycle perspective, we need to introduce new stuff.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
And if we don't introduce new stuff, we're not going to have a DeFi summer or an NFT summer or anything like that.
Yeah.
People are not going to go back into pictures and PFP projects just because it's on Bitcoin for the most part, right? You're not going to see the mania that we saw on Ethereum, in other words, because it was a new thing.
Yeah.
NFTs, PFP projects was a new thing during the NFT mania.
Yeah.
It's no longer a new thing anymore.
It's not.
Right.
Same with memes. Memes were new. They're cool for a second. You know? It's like, wow, these little digital tokens, like a
dog coin.
People could pile onto them, just like we saw with GameStop.
A dog coin that does nothing is worth $4 billion. How does that happen, right? Well, it doesn't. It's not going to continue to happen. But we got to introduce new things. So now you're on Bitcoin. What does Bitcoin enable that other chains do not? And we haven't seen anything new besides DMT.
Damn, I'm glad you said that. I was really hoping you were heading. Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time amongst ourselves, because we have multiple jobs, right?
Yeah,
we have multiple hats. So, like we're developers, ecosystem protocol deployers, whatever, maintainers, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we're building platforms, we're building all this stuff. But of course, we're educators, I guess, content creators here in this space. So we got our fingers on the pulse. We're seeing what everybody else is up to, and we have seen basically nothing new.
Yeah.
Except for what it is that we've been kind of like concocting here as a community, this DMT thing. It is objectively the only vector of newness that has been introduced.
Like other than like ordinals, I mean, that is a new thing.
I feel like that falls within the umbrella of what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like ordinals, we got rare sats.
One just sold for like $3 million. The epic one? Or is that what it's called?
Really? From 840,000 blocks?
Yeah. They just
$3 million.
Yeah, that miner Via, they just auctioned it for like 2.5 to 3 million, something like that. I wonder why.
Yes, that's good money, dude.
That is good money, but that from the definitions we've put out as for DMT falls within the umbrella, the scope of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Nobody's out there buying I guess some people still are $3 million like arbitrary JPEGs.
Yeah,
but I mean,
and I think they will, but. Man, it's nothing new.
It's not inspiring.
Yeah,
because we've seen that run amok, and it's like, oh, what, you're gonna run it again?
Yeah, you're gonna buy it for $3 million today, and then like 4 years from now, it's gonna be worth $200,000.
Yeah,
it's like,
I truly believe people need to be inspired. Like if Steve Jobs was right here next to us, I think he would agree with us. Just like his whole ethos and mission as like a marketer for like this new paradigm of technology. Like you have to inspire people to want to like use this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Elon says this all the time. Like if we're not going to Mars, we're not inspiring anybody.
That's true. It's like all of a sudden our reality just becomes so
just
uninspiring.
Yeah,
it's like we're all just gonna like sit here and circle jerk on this rock forever. It's like fuck.
That's largely what we've done for the last 50 years.
Yeah, it's like we should be circle jerking all over the galaxy. You know, that sounds way cooler.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Somebody needs to like push the boundaries a bit further. Yeah.
That's a large reason why I like Elon a lot as just like an inspiring figure.
Yeah, well, what do you call those?
And
not an icon.
It's like a show.
Just I don't know, a role model.
Role model. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
You've been talking to me about Elon since I was like 12 years old or something, dude. It's like, who's this Elon guy Will keeps talking about? But fuck, you're onto something, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's because I was inspired.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean, come on. I think people need to be, like you're saying, they need to be inspired. Otherwise, like, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah, crypto and web again, like when I first entered 2017-ish, it's like there's so much of that. It was very inspirational. Like I felt completely plugged into this. Like, dude, I'm ready to fuck some shit up, and you know,
like we're seeing like innovation, like this is gonna change the world type stuff.
Yeah.
And that's because you know how everybody talks about memes today? Well, back in 2017, everybody was talking about changing the world.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty easy to get inspired, even though a lot of it was vaporware as well.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, again, yeah, those early like attempters, they had genuine, I think, ambitions to do exactly what it is they said they were doing. But then, like the people, they co-opted that momentum, and they completely mucked up the entire thing. You know? It just perpetually keeps happening. There's nothing you could do about it. It just is what it is, right? Like this is.
Yeah, I mean,
part of the space.
It's like just recently, Bitcoin Cats raised like $100 million in ETH.
Yeah.
What do you think they're thinking? Is like, let's build a game. Let's spend this money. Like, no, like, how do we not spend this money and make it seem like you're doing something?
Yeah.
I think that's what they're thinking about.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of other like games, Web3 games. I think some of them actually do want to like onboard millions of daily users and stuff like that, and kind of but the flagship.
But my point is, if once you raise that much money, like from the public, you're thinking about how not to waste, how not to waste it.
Yeah, I think it is when you give founders just too much.
Yeah.
Early day advantage. Let's bring up some Dan Larimer tweets, dude. I hate to do this because he was one of my early gods. Can you do it?
Yeah.
I think I need y'all's like actual real-time reaction to this. It's actually quite shocking. So this is a good example of exactly what we're talking about, right? Dan Larimer, if you don't know, founder of EOS, a proposed layer 1 blockchain that had the trilemmas figured out, delegated proof of stake, all these things. Governance made sense. And they did a year-long ICO back in 2017, raised like $4 billion?
Yeah.
$4 billion in funds. And that was like according to that time's valuation of the Bitcoin and Ethereum they were raising.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably like tens of billions of dollars if they like manage that treasury in any sort of way. Or maybe they just liquidated everything. I don't know. But assume they raised $4 billion. So what happens to somebody in that position when the community gives them that much support? Let's see. What's he up to
15 hours ago, dude.
Okay.
Let me read this tweet. If my calculations are correct, there's a high probability that in 2028 is the year of the abomination of desolation and that Judgment Day starts this fall.
This fall, dude.
Around the 7-year anniversary of the Revelation 12 sign.
The fuck is he talking about, dude? Okay, keep going.
All right. It's March 27. If the Bible can accurately describe ICBMs 2,500 years ago, could it also be right about the 2024 timing of the nuclear destruction of Babylon, aka USA?
Oh shit!
Check out my research and then tell me what you think.
Holy!
63% think no way.
There's a very specific tweet. Keep going. Shit.
Yeah, dude, this is weird. This is not what he was tweeting back in 2017.
Okay, keep going. Hold on. There's something I saw recently that's just like too funny. God damn it. Maybe he deleted it or something. But there was a comment in there. It's like, what do you think about this like EOS update or something like that? Dan Larimer, founder of EOS. And then he's like, the rapture is coming. Like, there's no token economics, nothing that's going to save you from that. This is he's that far removed from, anything. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, based on basically what you're saying, whenever people get this much liquidity, innovation typically like goes out the window.
Yeah, right? And we kind of see this happening with like child stars. They just kind of lose it, but it could be like the industry and like drugs and all that stuff. Like there's a correlation.
Yeah, that might play a factor, huh?
Just a tinge. I don't know.
And maybe in this like tranche of successful crypto bros,
yeah,
they get access to like drugs and
Yeah.
all that stuff, and then they lose it.
maybe there is like an Illuminati group for like crypto
Yeah.
elites, and there's just like drugs and fucking goat fucking like nonstop. You know,
Yeah.
Not
Could
the
be.
goats.
Not the no goat fucking. I thought that's what elites did, but yeah, I mean possibly. There's other founders of those times. Again, like the former rock stars of our day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems as if they just completely, I don't know, lost all hope. What did you find?
WTF happened to you? Give us our 4 billion back.
That's Iman's alt account.
That's all my money, dude. Give it back to me.
I'll consider compensating you if any wrong that I did. But first, I need to understand some facts. What statements of mine were you relying upon? When did you conclude those statements were false?
The hell is he talking about?
Yeah, but point has been made. He's out there trying to save people from the rapture.
Yeah, so so now we have some new rock stars emerging, dude. Potentially.
Do we?
Well, yeah, the degree of rock star though is it's no longer like developers, it's influencers.
Oh.
These are the new gods of our day.
Yeah, we got to be careful here.
In what way?
No, because if we follow influencers as our gods,
Well, that's what this
we're going to be walking into a wall of fire, dude.
I know. Yeah, if like these developers couldn't hold it together, like if we all of a sudden make these influencers giga rich, giga powerful, like man, imagine the downfall of that. It's going to be quite disgusting.
Yeah.
And not good for our space at all. So I don't know. Ultimately, this is a ramp. What is good for our space? Who the fuck knows?
Just continue like finding problems and solutions, dude. It's what motivates humanity.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how the next car purchase is not going to be a car; it's going to be a robot. We're gonna be buying like taking out a loan for 6 years to pay off the robot that's like cleaning the house and like doing the dishes.
Yeah, we won't need cars anymore. So like that, you know,
that
that
$50,000 loan has to go somewhere.
exactly. You know, the banks still have to like,
Yeah.
you know, make their cut.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys don't need cars anymore because, you know, Tesla and like, you know, the EV industry just automated that task.
Yeah.
Well, what you're going to need is these new like home maintainers.
Shiny robots.
Or
right?
like, yeah, new sex companions, whatever, whatever it ends up being, it's going to be wild.
Yeah.
But you're right. That is just pushing the ball forward, I guess, in some way.
Shit.
All right, enough of Dan Larimer, dude. It's quite
Yeah.
shocking, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's talk about a 180-degree turn.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of those inspiring ones again. Like I bought in, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching Dan Larimer with his like whiteboard on YouTube.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and it was like popcorn and
It was very sensible, like theoretical approach to like, you know, Ethereum's good and all, but it's got its own disruptive limitations and such. So like here's this proposed way to kind of like, you know, work around that and create something new. A lot of people bought into that, sipped that Kool-Aid.
$4 billion.
Yeah, I was drinking some of that Kool-Aid.
Aren't you glad you get that EOS tattoo?
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, it only needed to do like a 3 or 4x from like, you know, the point where I made that statement to where I actually would have gotten it, dude. Like somewhere. I think I was gonna put it right here on my wrist.
Yeah.
I would still have it.
EOS.
A little fucking shard. It looks a lot like Leonidas's runestone.
It does.
Shockingly
It really
similar
does.
in like design,
Yeah.
color scheme.
Yeah.
Fucking facets and like edging, everything. It's
Yeah.
just like almost a duplicate.
Yeah. It is.
Maybe a potential foreshadowing. I don't know. I mean, Leonidas has set himself up for one hell of a future.
You know what? He's got a talent though. Like he spent like on the happening like 8 hours on a Twitter space or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't even spend almost an hour on a Twitter
I know.
space.
Well, this is what I mean. He's a god of a different degree, right? He's not out there spending 8 hours shipping code.
No.
He's out there spending 8 hours a day just talking nonsense to a group of people who are just equally not shipping anything of value,
Yeah.
right? Just not a bunch of non-code shippers sitting there on Twitter just talking. Yeah, you're right. That is a talent of sorts for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
To
dude,
be able to do
I wish
that-
I could do that.
There's no way in hell.
Dude, it's hard for me to even have a podcast, and we started one.
Yeah.
I'm not a talker, but here we are.
Right. Yeah, I know, but imagine, yeah. So that is his superpower, right? And people obviously gravitate to that because it's a community thing. People can participate and engage in that.
Yeah.
Like I can get in, get my rounds with him if I want, but if he's just like some dev, I mean, the most you could do is like commit some shit to the GitHub. It's like, I'm flirting with the god now.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, if you're a talker, you're gonna talk. If you're a dev, you're gonna dev.
Pretty much, yeah. So like the god, the paradigm of like who we're worshiping as of right now, it's that. So I don't know. Benny at one point had his godlike image.
Yeah.
Even from our perspective, like, damn, this motherfucker can work.
He can commit code.
He's fast. He's fast and he's diligent and he's careful and he's identifying critical flaws.
Yeah.
Not of his own, of like everyone else. Like Casey, he's like, Casey, you're fucking up there, bro. And he's like, you need to be careful.
Yeah, Casey even admitted that there's a chance that ordinals can get so bloated that it just completely trickles down into like a slow pace. And so, and Benny has been calling it out for months.
Yeah,
that this was an inevitability.
Correct. Yeah, so like he was potentially one of the first rock stars of this like Bitcoin developer ecosystem space. Casey's obviously a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think at some point he's just going to kind of disappear from the self-admittedly. He wants to be done with this. He said his next big project is like not even crypto related.
Yeah, what was it?
Some sort of like competitor to peer-to-peer file sharing, like to BitTorrent. Or what's it called?
BitTorrent.
Yeah, he wants to do something like that, but make it better.
That's cool.
Without needing like crypto at all.
Oh, that's not cool.
I don't know. It might be cool.
I mean, but you have BitTorrent. I mean, how are you going to make it better?
From his description, it's just like because it's such a not user-friendly thing.
No, well, it isn't because you got to download these files, and those files could be malware,
right?
And then locks up your computer when you're just trying to download like some movie or something.
Yeah, so like his stance is like, dude, what the fuck? This should be way more like friendly and approachable. So it's more of like a UI UX challenge, I guess, right? And so yeah, why not work on that, dude? But again, that while he's doing that, he's no longer a crypto rock star,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So fuck, where are they at? We need more of those.
Yeah. Where's the inspiration coming from?
Yeah,
maybe it's DMT, dude.
God damn it. I hate saying that, dude, but I feel like it's true. Just because I cannot. So you said something earlier about we have to identify like what it is about Bitcoin that separates itself from like all the other chains as far as like a development core attribute. Like what is it?
It's like you're trying to build something, right? Just in general, just like a car or whatever. What sort of new thing can I add to my car that makes my car unique? And that's really the competitive advantage that you're trying to get as a creator. It's like, what can I do that's unique that nobody else could do or thought of? Mm-hmm. And so now it's like we have all of crypto for the last 15 years. We're back on Bitcoin where it all started. Yeah. Now we can do some stuff. What sort of new stuff can I do on Bitcoin that I couldn't really do anywhere else? Right. And so we've landed on DMT. Yeah. Right. Ordinals, rare sats, like all this is like the new stuff.
Yeah, but specifically like this whole introduction of like this data substrate layer, like why is that like something core to Bitcoin that you couldn't?
Yeah,
like...
yeah. So Bitcoin ends up becoming like the most energy intensive processes that we've come up with as humanity. Yeah, like its energy consumption compares to like countries, small countries.
I feel like it's hard for like most people to kind of get a grasp on that. You know, maybe because now we're talking about if this is actually the thing that's going to inspire the masses, that needs to be much more like
obvious.
Yeah. It's like we hear these stories of like these mega mining operations, but we don't actually see them.
No, we don't know. Like it isn't common knowledge how much energy is being expended on Bitcoin.
I mean, we've heard like Elon and stuff talk about it. Like, holy shit! Like you think. Basically, he doesn't want to support crypto anymore until we come up with like a more energy efficient mining mechanism. And of course, these are happening, right? There's green farms and such becoming miners. But the actual and again, you have to appreciate what that actually means. The energy harnessing
Yeah.
capacity of Bitcoin. Like what can that translate into?
Yeah, it makes more sense in the context of like energy consumption if you understand physics a little bit.
God damn it. Fuck. Feel like already we lost.
I don't think so though.
Yeah.
Because like everything requires energy, right? Like making
Mhm.
this table, like this little figurine, all
Yeah.
this like has a cost energy like analysis to it.
Yeah, and it didn't. That's not the equation of production of this little guy isn't as simple as like input energy, output
Correct.
white guy with a hat.
Yeah.
You know,
Correct.
party hat.
It's way more complex.
There's many different. Yeah.
There's material, there's engineering design on the mold to make this. There's a manufacturing process that Elon talks about. Like you can make a whole movie on the complexity of creating a manufacturing line to make a car, or specifically a Tesla,
Correct.
right? And so you can make a whole movie of like the drama and the difficulty of that, and nobody has, right? Because no one understands it,
Yeah.
right? But if they did, I think people would have like an appreciation for.
I think they'd be fucking great.
I think so too.
I love those kind of movies. Like
the struggling movies, like the founder on for McDonald's.
That was great. I love seeing them out on that like tennis court or whatever, and like chalking out the what do you call it?
Oh,
like,
the outline, the
of, like,
blueprint.
Of like the manufacturing line
of a burger.
It was great. Like that made it make so much more sense. Like why fast food was truly like an innovation in like food servicing, right? Like holy shit. It seems so like simple nowadays, like but in retrospect, it was like a radical shift in idea.
He was the Ford of food manufacturing.
Yeah, so that was a good movie. And then like I guess like the Facebook one. Also good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be a great thing. But just to kind of paint the point here is like the common denominator among all those different like phase shifts of activity to produce anything really, it's energy. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the thing that is being like
specifically if you tie this into like the second law of thermodynamics, you're talking about the entropy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with all things like being equal, if you do nothing, the entropy always goes up, meaning a house like kind of like destructs itself. It just kind of breaks down.
Yeah.
Like that's entropy increasing.
Yeah.
When you put energy into a system, you are taking a high entropy state and putting into a low entropy state, just like this figurine.
Mm-hmm.
This is a low entropy thing. Now, how low is it? Like if I burn it, can I like keep warm at night? It's like probably not.
Yeah.
So it's lower than it was before, but it's not low enough to like keep me warm at night, right?
Correct. And there's like a natural physical process in the universe that does this, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Where it converts energy into these things of low entropy states. What are those like as from a building blocks perspective?
Well, it's a combination of a couple of things: gravity, pressure, temperature, and that's pretty much it.
And it forms what
and
exactly?
Heat and all that. And so that could form low entropy states such as oil, fossil fuels, gas, gold, silver.
It's usable commodities, basically.
Commodities
that have like convertibility into producing new valuable goods.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is very like root foundational economic stuff.
Yeah, this is kind of important to understand. Like for every human out there, it is like.
Well, yeah, it's part of our industry of like humanity, right? It's our great marvel achievement of what we've done.
Yeah, it's harnessing low entropy states.
Yeah.
That's really all that we've done.
Yeah, and because of that, we're able to thrive, right? So like the thesis of like why digital matter like matters, in the virtual landscape is it's applying the ambition of almost like replicating it or creating an environment where those same parameters, those same similar laws, same logic loops and stuff are applicable for production of goods in the digital space, right? I feel like it's a worthy attempt. You're going to have a side-by-side comparison of like this thing that was just arbitrarily created and spun up out of nothingness. Like there's no correlation or parallel between all the different complexities of our physical reality to the digital one. Yeah. And then like down the line, this DMT ecosystem, it results into a very closely aligned process that we kind of like are forced and objectively have to be a participant of in our physical reality applied to the digital one, right? So side by side, will humans interpret like these similar products like the same? Will one be favored over the other? That is like the ultimate experiment, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
DMT.
Yeah.
Obviously very challenging, very complex, very not like, dog go to moon.
Yeah.
You need to do some thinking, unfortunately, guys.
Yeah.
For this
But
stuff.
it's not so much the thinking, it's more about inspiring.
Right.
Right? Because like EV, the Natcats guy, he was like, I've never done anything before like in crypto, but once I saw DMT, I was inspired.
Yeah.
Right? And I did Natcats.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of messages from people like that who want to, deploy their own interpretation of a digital matter product that leverages these low entropy states of what Bitcoin is natively producing, right? The data.
Yeah.
That is what Bitcoin has been doing that since the start. We're injecting energy, which is what? A high entropy.
It's taking high entropy and making low entropy products.
Yeah.
Such as the blockchain.
Yeah. So the data that is being like basically just dispersed throughout every single block. You think of that as like that is the commodity space that can be harnessable and now converted into an actual tangible product in a sense. It's close to reality than what we are already like used to.
Yeah, just think of when you look at the blockchain, it's like layers and layers of different commodities embedded into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so those layers can be discovered through pattern recognition. And the same thing is like oil. It looks like oil no matter where you're in the United States or in Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
It has the same molecular structure, right? And so that's like a pattern.
Yeah.
Right? And so you can use these patterns and in the form of like these digital commodities to create stuff with. And that's what we're seeing with DMT. And the parallel of like the physical reality versus the virtual reality, I feel like this is the substance layer that's needed to really replicate a virtual society.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we struggle with this. We ask ourselves this every day. Is like, obviously this is going to get a lot of flack. People are going to say like, this is completely not necessary. We can create a virtual metaverse utopia without all of this complexity. Right.
Yeah. I think they're right. They're absolutely right.
It already is like happening.
It is
already
happening.
like hundreds of millions of people in the metaverse right now.
Yeah, it's like I always think about that scene in the Matrix where it's like Morpheus tells Neo's like in here you can not only bend the rules but you can break them, right? Because they're in the digital space, right? The Matrix is digital, and so you don't have to follow the laws of physics there,
right?
But in the context of like DMT, if you follow the laws of digital physics, you might be able to manifest a comparable economic situation comparable to reality.
Yeah. Yeah. Unified economic system is ultimately like the end goal utility of all this stuff. We hope.
Yeah.
We're hoping is the actual final outcome of that. And we don't think it's simply like what we've laid out to this point is going to be it. No way.
Yeah.
This is just like kind of like getting the ball moving in that direction. I feel like there's many more different like forces undiscovered that are going to kind of like have interplay with digital matter theory.
Yeah.
And like the production of non-arbitrary tokens and stuff like that. It can't just manifest from NAT to like now we have a closely aligned.
Now we're competing
digital
with the
universe.
GDP of the US.
Yeah, we're competing with God.
Yeah.
And God's like output of basically non-arbitrary parameter set for our physical reality, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's worthy of discussing. We talk about it every day.
Yeah.
Literally. But ultimately we've got to come to a point where we like derive a sensible thesis around all this that does inspire people, right?
Yeah.
That is the goal, right?
Yeah, and I think we've done a pretty good job of it too.
Oh, we'll see. You guys give us your feedback. Is this totally stupid? Crypto doesn't need to do this. Crypto doesn't need to be involved in this in any way.
If you think if that's your position, crypto doesn't need like DMT, then why would crypto need memes?
Right.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah. Put together a nice like.
I want a 2,000 to 4,000 word essay on why we need memes and not DMT.
Right. It's like why we need arbitrary like narratives. That's the main utility and use case of like, using these tools of digital like asset manifestation. Like that's the ultimate end product and the most inspiring angle we can come up with versus let's create something of non-arbitrary substance that can be derived for a utility of creating something like an actual virtual existence layer that mimics our own, right?
All right.
Potentially.
That's your challenge, right? If you feel inspired to like, I guess, write a 4,000 word essay on why arbitrary is better than non-arbitrary.
We're not going to see a single one, dude.
I'll read it in the next podcast, the whole thing.
Okay, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it, dude. I'm totally down.
All right, that's it for us. So we talked about a lot of DMT. We talked about the craziness in memes and runes.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll catch you in the next podcast.
Peace.